Get ready to talk to a person I have a mad amount of respect for. If you all haven't checked out thegrill.com, they've been a great source of information for the Michael Baisden Show. Joy Ann Reid is on, managing editor of grill.com. Joy, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Great to be here, Michael. Thanks.
Great job you're doing. You've been busy down there in Sanford. The video yesterday, the story the Grill broke about the lead investigator wanting to press manslaughter charges. George Wilborn is just trying to find out, along with the rest of the country, why hasn't this guy been arrested, and what's the latest on what's going on?
That is the question that the family, obviously, of Trayvon Martin is asking, and that a lot of people in this town are asking, because if you just look at the simple evidence, you know, police show up to the scene, the guy admits that he shot the person who's laying dead on the ground. He's taken into custody, something like custody, taken to the police station and questioned. And the only homicide detective out of all of the half a dozen police involved in this, the one homicide guy says, you know what, I don't believe his story. I think we should arrest him. But what happened, and what what we broke yesterday, is that the police chief, the actual police chief, showed up at the scene of the shooting along with the guy in charge of all the investigations, and then they meet in person either at the station or at the scene with the state attorney. And it's usually the state attorney's office, like an assistant state attorney. Somebody like that may respond, but not the state attorney himself. And the three of them had a conversation, and they decided to cut Zimmerman loose. That's very unusual, just because chiefs of police don't go to crime scenes. It's just not normal, and certainly state attorneys don't.
Joy, look, you're a great investigator. I would pay you to find this out for me. Who is George Zimmerman that he's being protected like this? Nobody understands this. Who is this guy?
I'm telling you, this has been what I have been doing for the last 2 days, is going everywhere I could. I just came from the courthouse trying to find more information. George Zimmerman's father is a retired judge out of Virginia. We know that. We know that he retired, and they moved to the Lake Mary area, which is the affluent town right next to Sanford, in 2002. Initially, they moved with George in the house. We also know that George has an obsession with calling police.
Right.
He was doing it in 2003, saying, hey, a motorist spat at me, followed that motorist.
Crazy.
Then a month later, he followed another motorist. He said he saw somebody robbing a store.
So this is
the
a
guy's
pattern.
obsessed with, and he's a wannabe cop. The father, I think, is key to this, because somebody called and got that chief and got that state attorney to that scene.
Right.
All they got to do is check everybody's phone records to see who called this guy's daddy. And that's going to be the beginning of it. But the videotape last night, let me get to this, Joy. The videotape last night, everybody has said in their stories he pounded him. Trayvon pounded him. He was in a fight for his life. And then we see the video, and then what, Joy?
You basically see a guy walking into a police station that was clean-shaven. He looks in shape. He looks unperturbed. He certainly didn't look like he'd been in a life-and-death struggle or that his nose was broken.
George, what's your question for Joy?
Well, I'm just curious as to, now with all of the evidence that's we have thus far, what is the reasoning that they're saying that they will not arrest this man today?
Well, at the local police level, you have to understand that the police department now is out of this. They do not have jurisdiction. They gave it up to the state attorney. So the local police can't pick him up. He's not currently charged with a crime. What would have to happen now is that the state attorney has to go ahead and either indict him or impanel a grand jury, and they indict him, and then they pick him up. But right now, they can't arrest him because the police are out of it. They've taken themselves off this case.
I got to tell you something.
Taken off the case.
Yeah. You've been very calm and cool about this. You're such a professional. Because if it was me, I would be in front of the courthouse going, what the hell is going on?
I know,
this is
right?
crazy.
Like we've been on the air.
Like we've been on the air. Hey, Joy, please stay in touch with us and keep us posted about what's going on.
Thank you. Will do.
Yeah.